What's up?
What's up?
Toronto with tilt. See, we're not going to do any of that. We decided we weren't going to do an intro for this episode, and no one did anything, which is something. So, yeah,
I said hello to the viewers.
Yeah, I said sup.
Yeah, we're doing a season preview. I just want to start off. I'm getting like to that point where spring training was done for me like a week ago.
Oh, I've been sick of spring training after like you guys. We've talked about this. You guys know how. Well, not like as a podcast. Like we've talked about this as friends. That like I fucking hate spring training after the first like 3 games because nothing good happens.
The whole time.
Yeah, nothing good happens. People just get hurt. Like Nate Pearson is fucking mono.
No, it's the biggest tease of them all. You know, we're excited. Baseball's here. It's on TV.
No, yeah.
You should be excited about it, but it's really not. It's not baseball.
Well, that's why I get pumped for like the first 3 games, right? Like, because you see at that point, you see the veterans by the end of it. You've seen some prospects at the beginning. And then, yeah, like my belief that nothing good happens after that generally ends up.
And then today people are panicking because like I saw Goldberg tweet like Springer left the game because like after 2 innings they were pulling a lot of the starters.
Yeah.
And everyone was freaking out. It's like, wait, this is just like because it wasn't on TV today, so you couldn't like keep track of it. Like I had basically every spring training game on TV while I worked. Yeah. I didn't retain like most of them. I don't remember what happened in most of the games. I watched like the starting pitches for our team and then would just have it on. That's
the best thing about spring training is just it's baseball during the day and it's every day where there's just something on where you can throw it on during work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Background.
That's the positive. That's the positive.
Yeah. But we get the real thing soon. I'm excited for the weekend. We're going Sunday. Anthony Ball.
I'm going Saturday too, actually now.
Oh wow.
We're going Saturday and Sunday.
You should go Friday too. You get them all.
Well, we're doing the we're doing the live stream, the watch along. So I can't go Friday.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm gonna be here with you guys watching the game.
I forgot we were doing that.
Yeah, Tony completely forgot. Made plans. Now he's gonna have to cancel them because he's gonna have to watch the game with us.
I'll be there.
I love as Tony looks down as he's like starting to text people like, shit.
Yeah, so many things.
I got plans. Shit. But yes, we are doing that. Opening day, Friday. The boys will be here. We're gonna watch the game with you. Do you guys want to pop on a little bit before?
Let's do 7 because this fucking thing won't start till 7:40. The way.
No, that's what I mean. Like, no. If we start at 7 because then they always give you like the 7:07 start time, but it starts at 7:15 because they waste so much fucking time.
Yeah. So I think we should do 7, and then we'll do a little bit of a talk before, and then hopefully it starts by like 7:20. Usually.
Yeah. Oh, it's opening day too, so it'll take a while. Yeah. When they do the big introductions and shit, it'll take. Yeah, it takes time. But yeah, so at 7:00, tune in. Tune into our Twitch. We're streaming live now, but we'll be streaming live then too. Obviously, the YouTube that's on right now. Watch along with us. We are gonna hang out, watch the Jays game with you guys. Just kind of sit around and get excited or get upset. Yeah, ideally it'll be positive.
I have my Charlie Montoya stress ball this year.
I don't even want to.
You know, you're a psycho when people get you shit like this for Christmas. Because it's like, this makes me think of you. It's a stress ball because you're a psycho. So baseball stress ball.
Oh yeah,
I might have gotten one of those in the past.
Yeah, but it should be good. But as far as this year, like I was getting a little annoyed this season based on like the pregame hype on the commercials. We were talking about it a bit last week. It was the main topic I think we were talking about after last week's show was people's expectations on this team and how it's being portrayed. If you don't know the commercial, the one that was playing for most of the offseason was this 91 wins commercial where they basically were trying to hype up last year's team as this like great accomplishment that they won 91 games. And all of us kind of came to the same conclusion differently, where we're just like, this is not what we want to put out there. This is not like that wasn't a good season. We can't like go look back at last season and think it was good.
It was a failure.
So
you didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, failure. Success is earned, not given.
And now we're
We
sitting
earned
here.
our success last year.
Like, that's the one thing I want to leave this season, is because my fear for this year is that we get off to the same kind of slow start as last year, and expectations start to change, where it's like, okay, the division's good, we just got to like get in the playoffs, and then whatever happens. And let's say we get in and we lose in the first round, and everyone's like, you know what, wasn't that bad of a season because they got in and it was different than last year. But in my opinion, if we don't at least win a round and get to like the ALCS, even in my opinion, not even get to the World Series, it's a failure.
Oh, we talked about this last podcast. It's World Series or bust for this team. Yeah, sure. ALCS, you go 7. It's if it's some kind of crazy tight game, maybe. But actually, fuck that. We've been talking about this for how many podcasts now? The 2-year World Series window? Like, yeah, it's World Series or bust. It's two shots at it with everyone's, the way that the roster's set up with everyone's control and shit. Right? Like, yeah, that's the plan. It's World Series or bust. It's not out here to win 91 games or just miss the playoffs or lose in a wild card. Fuck that shit. We're here to win.
We want the division.
Yeah.
We want to win the East and then win the American League and then the World Series. We don't want to sneak in as a wild card. That would be disappointing.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it needs to be the expectations right now, like for everybody, not just some people.
I think that's
we all
how
need to be on board with that.
Though. Like the team is looking at it that way.
Well,
as long as
Vladdy with the greatest quote of all time that's now on T-shirts, and they need to sell these. Actually, Roto World has these T-shirts. I almost guarantee it. I might have to buy it. The last year was just a trailer. This year is a movie. Like, yeah, they believe. Like, we've talked about this for a while though. Is the kids on this team have believed basically since day one. Even when Vladdy was struggling, he believed that he was this good, right? Like they all like, and that's another part of this. They expect to win. So, the expectations are definitely raised here, like substantially. Because, it's not about just participating. It's about fucking winning.
Yeah, they're
win the division.
Very confident group. Everyone we have, and even Charlie is super confident. I was watching the spring training game I was watching. I forget which one. I think it was the Philly game. And they were saying if we're 500 in April, that's fine. Because we believe we're going to get out of it, and just all this. We want this this hype. We want this praise. And whatever.
Well, I want to bring something up. You guys, we all talked about it after the podcast last week. Everyone loves this team, right? They're young, they're exciting, they're fun. The 2015 team we all love, but the rest of baseball hated them. Like they were Star Wars driver. They were the fucking Empire. Like they show up, the music's playing, Stormtroopers, Vader. Like they yelled at umpires. The other dugouts hated them. Remember Buckshot? Like the Orioles hated. Everyone hated them. They were getting thrown at all the time. I wonder the way this team plays the game and the way that some old school people interpret the way this team plays the game. If this offense does what we keep joking, like we've joked the entire preseason about how does this team not score 10 runs a game? Like what's going to start happening if they start doing that to people?
One thing about that, I don't like the revisionist history that a lot of Jays fans have had. And Anthony has brought this up a lot to me personally, how they look back on that 2015 team and they say, you know what, we didn't like that team. The team was a little too mean. They were too aggressive. They weren't likable, not like this bunch. But I think in order to become a great team, that this team needs to become like what you were saying, Steve. They need to become like that kind of attitude.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Likable teams are great. But when you're like, here's the thing. I don't know. I'm a Toronto sports fan. So other than the Leafs, there's no team that's like the Death Star other than the Leafs. And they're the bad Death Star, the one that blows up, not the one that actually, does things that looks scary and then fucking fails miserably. So if the Blue Jays turn into that, I kind of want a team that everyone else hates. That's just so good, rolls through people and just has people out here being pissed off or getting embarrassed. I'm about that.
Yeah, I want that too. But I was,
and you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the 2015 it was very different because we had Josh Donaldson on our team. These combative people.
Jose.
Jose, yeah.
Everyone loves Jose as like the big, the fan favorite. Like he was an angry old man. Made him lovable.
Yeah, and he was the best. I wish we had
The guy
Jose on
got
our team
piss
right now.
tested like every day. Remember when he first went off? He was just like, yeah, I got pissed at like every game. It was crazy.
He blew out his shoulder because he was so angry at was it Delman Young that he tried to throw him out on a single because Delman Young is slow and fat, so he thought he could actually gun him down at first base. It was against the Orioles. I remember this. And that was remember when he blew out his shoulder and everyone's like, holy crap, what happened to his arm? That was what happened. He was so angry that he wanted to embarrass Delman Young and he hurt himself. It's pretty great.
He was, and then this idea that they were too mean and they were bullies to like Kevin Pillar and Dolan Pompey. Where are those guys at?
Well, the locker room, like not the locker room, that's football. The clubhouse shit that came out, like, yeah, JD apparently was not the nicest of people, but right, like it's different.
His dad was in prison. He had a tough life, and he used that. He exerted that on the baseball field, and you can see it now. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and people try to make that guy look like a bad thing.
There was also the fact that like he was a dude who didn't make it into like he was a stereotypical late bloomer, like 3 or 4 organizations, changed positions, like made the big leagues at 27, like right, former top prospect who was nothing, changed like and then came back and was like one MVP. Like he had a reason to be upset. Like was the standard, had a chip on his shoulder. You got it from the quote early in the season when they were losing. Before they made the trades and got hot, this is the get it done league. This isn't the try league. Like if that didn't tell you where Josh Donaldson's head was, I don't know.
Yeah. Now we have to kind of not like him anymore because he's on the Yankees. That's I'm getting used to.
I'm still don't like that. I'm still hoping that he just goes in there and blows it up from the inside because I already saw him bugging Garrett Cole during an interview, and it was kind of great. Because you know how guys mess with each other during interviews, but it was JD doing it to Cole during the interview, and I don't think Cole was actually having it. So I don't know. Hopefully it's already begun.
I was all good with the JD thing until I saw him like against us personally. When he it just like, I'm like, you know what? He is what he is. He's a little bit older now. It shouldn't be too bad. He's going to play for the Yankees. They're going to have their internal problems probably. And then I just saw him on the Yankees and was like, you know what? This is a disaster. And this does not feel good that this guy's playing us 19 times this year.
Yeah. And it was funny, like looking at him, like, holy shit, like clean shaven. I was like, he looks kind of old. And then he hits that dinger and you're like, oh, Christ, this is going to suck. I think we all texted each other pretty much within like 10 seconds of like, I don't like this. I'm not going to like this. I fucking hate JD as a Yankee. I'm pretty sure those messages all hit our group chat.
No, it was like within the first thing everyone thought.
Yeah, like immediately. I think the only delay was how we were watching the game and whose stream was faster. I think that's the only way those texts came in.
Which is another thing we're going to have to figure out, by the way, for the live stream, which I'm waiting for.
That's right. I got to make sure I fire up the Sportsnet thing to make sure that I'm actually on time with you guys.
Theo's good. Well, Steve is normally first among us as far as streaming quality.
Even when we watch cable, like even when we actually are watching cable, I'm first. And for some reason, my streams are first. I don't get it.
I swear to God, it's Bell's fault. Bell is behind Rogers. I don't know if it's the fiber, if it's because of the satellite. It comes in slower.
Well, the funny thing is
before, and it was faster.
Okay,
I get stuff later. He actually just froze right when we're talking about things freezing.
Ironic.
Like hooked up to, and then I have Jenny, you hear that?
None of it.
So yeah, I got Rogers. I got a box, and that one is behind. You know the little cable thing when you can actually plug in the cable, the little black box that gets you like standard cable. I have that plugged into the TV that I use as a computer monitor, and that one's ahead of the box. And they're both Rogers. They're in the same home. They're sitting like 2 feet beside each other, and one of them is ahead of the other one. So I don't even understand how this works.
Yeah, I'm gonna be way behind because I don't have cable. So
well, no, because we're gonna use Tony. Not listening. We're gonna use the the sports set. That's why I was talking about the sports set app, because me and Theo were like, we're gonna try to slow it down so we can watch it with you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to time it up.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be because of me. We have to do that. That's right.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Because it would have been kind of funny to have me, then a half second later Theo, and then like Tony being like, "What's happening?" And then 45
4
seconds.
minutes later, me.
We did that last season. I think we were like recording stuff at the end of games as we were going into the podcast.
The Semien game.
We'd have the same kind of problems.
That's
The Semien,
the one where the first time he threw one of the balls just away near the end of the season. What was that? Was that the Tigers game? Was the first time he did it? Because he did it a couple of times in a row and then stopped doing it immediately. But like, yeah, he did it a couple of times there at the end of the year, and that Tigers game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were recording. I saw it, was trying not to react. Theo sees it, and both of us are trying to hold it together until Tony sees it.
Because we were making him do like play-by-play and shit.
Yeah, I was doing.
Oh yeah, that's right. After the Semien fuck up, we're like, all right, Tony, you do the play-by-play. We'll see how far ahead we are.
What are we doing for Semien at the game? Are we giving a standing ovation?
Of course.
Or what?
Oh fuck yeah.
They gave Pilar standing out on every at bat in that series.
I didn't.
I know you didn't, Anthony. You're an
I
outlier.
never sat harder.
I wonder if they're going to present him with the Silver Slugger, the gold, like he's going to get the whole. I wonder if they do that. No, they probably do that back in Texas.
That's a home.
Yeah, I was just wondering because it's his old team and it's a weird situation. But yeah, that's still something they're probably going to do in Texas.
I know when you get your rings, you do it for the team. Obviously, you won it for, and they wait for you to come back.
Exactly.
I don't know if they do this.
They're going to get his 91 win season ring.
His 91 season block that we're also proud of.
Oh yeah, this fucking participation trophy.
The great 98 win Pythag team that won 91 games. It was such a thrill to just be a part of that.
Well, then there's also the part that we talked about of like how close they were to making the playoffs, and there's various situations that we can directly point to where it's like, well, that was a game that was lost. Like, I don't know, maybe taking Alejandro Kirk out and putting in Breivik Valera to bunt when you had a lefty, and then literally the next game, Alejandro Kirk in the exact same situation against the exact same lefty hits a dinger. So I don't know. Maybe that was the problem. Bad
Charlie
decision.
Montoya, he feels like the guy you bring in when the kids are young, not ready to win. But then as soon as you're ready to win, you should bring in someone like.
Did we talk about Charlie's extension? Did we talk
I don't
about?
think we did specifically, but we've talked about Charlie.
Well, at first I was kind of like, what the hell? You give him like extension to 2 club options? Like, what's going on? And then immediately I thought, I'm like, that is the most fireable extension possible. Because it's 2 club options. It's 2 club options after this year. So, or sorry, not this year. So it's a 2023 extension. So he has a guaranteed 2023, and then 2024 and 2025 are club options. So it's set up, I'm pretty sure that if now that I sit and think about it, like after it first happened, I was, well, you guys know how I feel about him. I don't like him very much as a manager. Then I saw that and I was like, that actually kind of looks like if these decisions are made, and I think like, here's the thing, it's going to take them missing the playoffs for him to get canned.
Yeah,
and then we'll be really pissed off. Yeah, exactly. And then even firing him. Yeah, because then even firing him is we got real problems, because if you didn't fire him midseason for somebody else and didn't make the playoffs, well, now that 2-year World Series window is 1. And you fucked up so royally in that first one, we start questioning year 2.
You know what the worst case scenario for this season is if we're so good this year and he fucks us out of like 4 or 5 baseball games and we lose a division by a game or 2, but we're still in the wild card. And everyone's just like, we had a good year. We were in the wild card. Maybe we win the ALDS and then we lose the LCS. And it's like, oh, what if we had home field, or what if we didn't have to play those extra games? Like, that's the stuff that's going to piss me off so much, because those are the little things that don't get talked about as much, but those are the things that a manager in baseball can really affect over a long season. Just a few moments like that can fuck you at a few games that are going to affect.
Yeah.
Now with bye weeks, it's so important that we win the division this year.
We're so good. Like, he would really have to ruin things.
Well, but it's decisions like the Kirk thing that Steve was just saying. Like, those like, little decisions that you can fuck a good team up doing that.
Yeah, like this is
going to do that again, though.
Well, he fucking better not. Well, here's the interesting fucking thing with the way the roster's shaken out. Is Tapia going to be DHing more than we think? Because now that we don't know if Collins is making it, because apparently, according to Caitlin McGrath, who tweeted it literally before we started recording, they're trying to decide whether Barucki, who's got a minor hamstring thing, if they want him to be the 28th man or if they want to IL him so Collins is the 28th man. Because Greg Bird's gone, which, I mean, let's be honest about Greg Bird. He's had a great spring. He's had a great spring, but it would have been a great story. How many times do you have a guy that's been that hurt, and not only that hurt, that hasn't been that good in the big leagues in forever, actually finally lives up to the promise?
And I kind of like the guy they kept over him, that Cato guy. I've read a little bit about him. It's an interesting. He's more versatile at least, and I think that's what the Jays wanted.
And he's more and he provides something they don't have. It's the bat to ball. It's kind of like Tapia. It's just he hasn't done it at a big league level, but in the minor leagues, he's been like elite at it. He hits over 300. He doesn't hit for a lot of power, but has a 900 OPS because of how often he hits doubles. And it's like he plays first, second, third, left, and right. They don't like to put him at short or in center field, but that's pretty fucking handy.
He also comments on the Jays Reddit a lot. He's one of those guys.
Oh,
like, they had a post about him, and he's like commenting, answering people. Like,
he was also wearing Robbie Ray's pants. Did you not see his whole like?
Yeah, I've seen all that stuff. Yeah.
Dude's pretty damn good on social media, and that might have been half the reason he made the team. But he has a great story too. Second round pick by the Yankees, I'm pretty sure. He'd been in a whole bunch of organizations. He's so I know his name is Gosuke Kato. Yeah,
Kato, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. He's from California. He's of Japanese descent, but he's from California. That's why he was a second round pick. He wasn't like an international signing. And that's why if you've heard him talk, he actually sounds like he's California. Like he sounds like he's a surfer dude. Like he very much fits in. I don't know. That's an interesting bat to have around. And Collins to me, because I know we definitely didn't talk about that. Collins is like a poor man's Kyle Schwarber. He's a 10th overall pick because people thought he was going to be Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
Right? Like
that's how I remembered him. He was a really high pick.
Yeah, he was a catcher that everyone knew wasn't really a catcher, that was better as a first base DH. And last year against right-handed pitching, he had an on base of 345, sorry. That's pretty good. I mean, granted, he doesn't hit the ball very often. The Jays, hopefully they see something there. They want to work on him. But I'd actually like to see him in Buffalo because that's where you can work on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying, because you were talking about that DH spot. Don't you just think more of these moves, like the Grichuk leaving, the Bird, this just means that Kirk's going to get a lot more opportunities?
That's what it better be. But what scares me is seeing some of these spring training lineups where Tapia's DHing. Because we've talked about this. I don't think there's ever a situation where he should be DHing.
No, there's everyone else is a better option.
In the regular season, I highly doubt that'll happen.
Right? You guys were the one that brought it up of Charlie and the way that Charlie was going to use the roster. And someone else I know for a fact, one of my buddies, he hates the trade just based on the fact that he's afraid that Charlie's going to DH him. It's a fine trade other than the fact that Charlie could use him wrong. And if that starts happening, I'd be pretty fucking pissed.
Like we were just saying, Anthony, how can you fuck the team up? Those are things.
But that's not going to happen. He would get directive on that. From Jatkins. They would tell him, like, Kirk is getting these at bats that he's playing.
He better.
You think Charlie's going to be pounding the table to have Tapia DH, and they're going to say, okay. Like, this is all about getting Kirk more opportunities.
That's what, like, for me, honestly, if Kirk's catching takes a hit, I'm sorry, his bat needs to be in the lineup. That's the more valuable thing for him, especially when you have someone like Moreno on the come, and then Danny can really be the backup catcher because he's really good defensively. And, what backup catcher can hit, honestly? If Danny can learn to hit a little bit.
You took Moreno on our fantasy job. When do you think he's coming up? Are you, confident he's going to play enough time this year to be impactful?
Oh, yeah. I think he's coming up. Like, dude, he had visa issues, so they had a real good reason to delay his service time.
So you think, first half of the year?
I think he could be up quick. If he does what he did last year, which was hit 350, hit for power, really good defense. He did everything. If he's doing that at Buffalo, how are you going to justify in this season where we keep talking about World Series or bust, not having that in the lineup almost every day?
I mean, maybe if an injury happens.
I would also
I don't think it'll be until July at the earliest.
I don't know. I'd also like to point out Elvis Martinez is in Double A. He was in High A for like a week. Like he's now realistically, I know there's Triple A, and sometimes you want to see guys. High end prospects can make the jump directly. Like not can organizations do jump them straight from Double A. And there's a lot of talk after his spring training that he might be a second baseman for this team. So,
do you know how much this team loves Kevin Biggio? Do you buy into those rumors, by the way, how they were saying how Kevin Biggio is what's holding up the Jose Ramirez trade because they like him so much and they don't want to get rid of him? I saw one of those like over the weekend, and I'm like, there's no way that's what's holding the deal up.
That cannot be true.
I can see the organization really liking him, though.
I would be so upset because Kevin Biggio. Don't get me wrong, we've talked. Like I like Kevin Biggio, not more than Jose Ramirez. I don't like however many more years of control than Kevin Biggio versus the 2 years of Jose Ramirez, because the 2 years of Jose Ramirez is probably going to be more valuable than however many years you're going to get out of Kevin Biggio, even if he's the best version of himself.
Yeah. And by the way, another 2 years is not a rental. I keep seeing that. Like, we're going to spend all that much for a rental. No, 2 years of Jose Ramirez is not a rental. That's a move that you make. That's not.
Yeah.
It's a perfect move for World Series team.
Yeah. And then the team is locked in for 2 seasons. It's like not just locked in, it's gross for 2 seasons.
Yeah. It's Dodgers level, because we're on the top of the AL, but not by much. If we get Jose Ramirez, we're on Dodgers. We're looking at like we're as good as them, basically.
Oh, because not only have you replaced Semien, like you know what I mean? You haven't just replaced what you lost. You added more and more and more and more. Like, I don't know. I think so. We're doing like a Jays season preview. I was kind of worried about how much hype I wanted to put on Matt Chapman. Like, I was super excited for that trade, but I was a little tentative about what I wanted to say after fucking watching him this spring.
Oh, he's perfect.
He's going to hit 40 home runs.
No, even
I'm all the way in on that.
The defense, that Philly game, got everything from Matt Chapman. The defense is phenomenal. He makes it look so easy. Then he pulls one down in. How fast was that one off the bat? I don't even remember. It
was like 113 or some shit. Dude, some of his foul balls where he's been out in front and just pulled it foul have been like 114 mile an hour. Like, they would be 500-foot moonshots. Like,
yeah.
He looks fully right. Like, he looks like he's healthy. I know Buck said that right off the hop, and obviously he's going to say that, right? Like, he's on the new team. And I feel it. It's spring training, right? I'm in the best shape of my life. You can see it, though. Like, the way he is tattooing baseballs, it's exciting. For me, it's very exciting. And so, I want to address that first. I'm fully expecting like a bounce back to peak Matt Chapman and potentially getting the bump. Like, I gotta stop saying like. The Semien season we saw, I don't think that's out of the question for Matt Chapman.
I think that's the absolute max ceiling if every little thing goes right.
Oh, dude, absolute max ceiling is he's
even in his good years he wasn't one. I know the stadium differences.
Here's the thing: in that first good year in 2018, he had 278, 356, 508. Right now, the next year, his batting average dropped. His slugging was almost identical. His on base was almost identical, and then he had 36 home runs in Oakland. Okay. He hit more home runs in Oakland than Semien hit in Oakland. He hit more home runs in Oakland than Josh Donaldson hit in Oakland.
I think it's also Semien also made adjustments right when he got here to match.
Well, he had the slow start, and we talked about it. The slow start with Semien, and we kind of got worried. And then after like the first 6 or 7 games, he just got so hot it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, I'm drinking the Matt Chapman Kool-Aid for sure.
Yeah, because my biggest thing for his offense taking like the big step, I don't think he's going to be hitting anywhere near in the order where he was with the A's, and the amount of pressure on him isn't really there anymore. So now you have to pitch to Matt Chapman, right? It's not the A's where you can pitch around him. And yeah, he struck out more than he ever did. I think that's going to change. Like, this is why I think he's going to fully bounce back. I think the strikeout number, I think all of this is going to start coming back into line just because he's going to be able to, for the first time in his life, not be the number 1, 2, or 3 offensive option on his team. Think about it. A guy like Matt Chapman in high school is number 1. In college, he played with Nolan Arenado. Well, they played at junior college, but you know what I mean. Like, you're number 1 or 2. In the minors, you're number 1 or 2. And then since he's been in Oakland, he's been number 1, 2, or 3 there offensively.
He's in that like Lourdes Gurriel camp where he's in the middle of your lineup, kind of towards the bottom, but you just hope
if he
he stays consistent enough where you're like getting a gem out of that spot.
Well, Lourdes is another dude that if he stays healthy and actually doesn't have an injury, like, because he randomly gets hurt and then sucks, and then he'll come back and like when he finally gets hot again, and then he gets hurt and sucks.
He's been so good this spring, and he's more selective. I think this version of Lourdes, I'm going to say it now. I don't know if we're going to do predictions at the end, but my prediction this year is that Lourdes has a Teoscar type year where he proves like he can be consistent for a season. I really believe in him, and I really think he's going to put a season together. Yeah. If he stays healthy, that's going to be the biggest key. But
here
he has it all.
Like, yeah, we can do previews and shit now. So I've just talked about Matt Chapman's offense. I wanted to get to his defense, and my like big take, like my hot take, bold take for the season is this left side of the infield is going to be better than Josh Donaldson and Troy Tulowitzki. And the reason I say that is Matt Chapman is better than either of them were with the Blue Jays defensively, and I don't think Bo is going to be worse than JD was at third base because with Matt Chapman, like I think Bo takes the big step, like the big step defensively, and Matt Chapman is so good.
You know how mad you're making him right now?
Oh, I know. I can see his face. I see how upset he is. When I said Tulo's name, I saw his eyes get huge. But I'm dead serious. My big take is this is the year. Like, Bo takes the big step defensively because he's got Matt Chapman on his side, and Matt Chapman is Matt Chapman. And you're about to see some of the best infield defense we've seen out of this team in a long time.
Well, you know why Bo Bichette is going to be better this year defensively is because he worked directly with Troy Tulowitzki this offseason, who was an amazing shortstop.
Is he still like coaching at Texas?
Yeah, he's an offensive and infield coach, and he's making Texas great again as a baseball team. And yeah, Bo's been training with Tulo, but also Taz Tulowitzki is going to be a beast, by the way. He's only
how old is he?
His name's Taz.
Like 9,
yeah.
I don't know, but
you don't remember the Taz armband that Tulo used to wear? That was his kid's name. Yeah.
Who is like, who Troy Tulowitzki says is very gifted right now. And he wouldn't say that if it wasn't true. If anything, he's underselling it. But yeah, when you think about it that way, I get what you're saying.
I'm not trying to slander Tulo, by the way. Like, you know how much I love Tulo. I'm trying to say that, like, and that's also why I said I don't think Bo is worse than Donaldson was at third base, because clearly Tulo was a superior defender in that situation. But yes.
Yeah. So our infield defense, it's going to be really strong with BGO. We'll see what he does. That's his natural position. And if not him, Espinal's great. So, Vlad did a pretty good job last year too. And he should only get better with more reps.
Yeah. I just liked your face after the Tulo thing.
See, like, not many things, like, my sirens go off when I hear Tulowitzki mentioned at any point in my life. I got to go to war.
I stumbled on one of those videos of the best home runs of the last decade for the Blue Jays. I send it to you, and I didn't realize how many Tulo was on. Tulo hit I think he was on like 8 of those clips.
Dude, Game 3 in Texas, down 2-0. This guy's 4 RBI, bases loaded walk, and a 3-run home run to put him ahead in the game for good. And all we hear is this guy's horrible. He doesn't care. He doesn't try. He hates Toronto, blah, blah, blah. But he stepped up when it mattered.
He's still muted, Steve. We can't hear you at all.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I did want to talk about though.
My damn headset mute didn't work for like 3 episodes, and now it works again.
Your audio sounds the same, like the actual, like the mic on it.
Yeah, no. Like I have like the mute button on this, and it hadn't worked. Like I would turn it on, and you guys could still hear me because like I could hear myself drinking when I would listen back, and then all of a sudden it started working again. So,
we also should talk about Nate Pearson, the most unluckiest guy on our team right now. Another setback.
He has mono. No.
I think you're still freezing, Steve.
Huh?
You're kind of freezing still.
Oh, I'm back now. But...
Now you're
No, but what do we like long term? Like now, I don't even know if the Jays are going to trade him at this point when his value is just like keeps dipping. They're going to want to try to build that back a bit. And
well, now that outing where his velocity dropped substantially now makes sense because he had fucking mono. It's just the good thing is like people share water bottles and shit. Like I know COVID, you're not supposed to, but it's probably that's probably why it's a good thing it didn't spread to any of the teammates because mono fucks you up for
it's like a month, right? Where you're just feeling like shit.
Yeah, you got no energy and anything like that. So I've never had mono, but like that's what happens. It's happened to enough athletes that I've had to figure out what the hell's going on here. So yeah, Pearson's gonna be out for a while. Like he will be out for a while. So it sucks.
Yep, disappointing.
We were hoping to count on him in the pen, right?
It's opened up the Trent Thornton door again, which they announced today he made the team, and I think that's the reason why.
Exactly, because Pearson isn't going to be here.
I almost forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
All the hype we're hearing about our team, and it's like I thought Trent Thornton was old news.
28-man roster too, so
yeah,
that's part of it.
You still have Stripling above him for long man work, so it's not the biggest deal, but
yeah. But the thing with Pearson though was the upside, right? Because we know what Ross Stripling is. He's better out of the bullpen, but like he's not really a guy you're putting in when you have a lead. And to have another high octane arm in Pearson would have been really nice. So now we just really got to hold our fingers that Julian Merriweather stays healthy.
That's the key there. The whole bullpen. He makes or breaks a lot of it. If he's good, you have like 4 guys, 5 guys even.
Or if he's just
trusted category.
If he just survives long enough for Pearson to get back.
Yeah.
Right? Like at this point, as long as one of those two is healthy and in the bullpen, I want both, but who the hell knows if that'll ever happen? So
if you can combine a full season with Barucki, Pearson, and Merriweather and just have them all at some point be good for this season, that's good. That's
honestly, if you got like 30 innings out of all like each of them at different times, but they were like one of them was on the roster at all times, that would be a win. That'd be a pretty big win. And that's not that's not asking a lot. 30 innings out of each of them, like that means a lot of time off. Yeah. It's basically half a season off for all of them.
Just be ready in October.
Yeah.
We're great.
Yeah, exactly.
Why effect we're giving these relievers. Another thing too. We didn't really talk about Gossman too much ever since the deal.
I think he's just going to be really good. I don't know. I'm not really worried about it in any way, shape, or form.
I've heard some people's like the talking point is as Semien and Ray, have we replaced them good enough? Like, are they going to be, losing them? Is that going to make our team so much worse? But you're the one specifically who believes that Gossman is better than Ray. You're higher on Gossman and you're pretty high on Ray, but just this is how much you like Gossman. You think he's a better fit for what we have right now?
Yeah, I've loved Kevin Gossman. I have him in this crazy fantasy baseball league, the Stratomatic League. Like I traded for him years ago. So when the Giants got him and fixed him, they basically just let him throw the pitches he thought were his best pitches, which was a fastball and a splitter, and he got really good. And you saw him in his Jays debut, like when we all finally got to see him on TV the other day. Like you saw in that, what was that first inning was 7 pitches to get 3 outs. Like when he's on, not only is he a strikeout pitcher, he can work very efficiently. Like it's just, he's the type of guy that's also going to play very well for this defense because of the pitches he throws, like the splitter, right? Like whereas Robbie Ray's issue was a fastball or a hanging slider, they'd get hammered. Like, don't get me wrong, it's the AL East. He's going to give up home runs. Like this shit's going to happen. Everything's down more, and he's looking for ground balls and strikeouts. And just the way he's set up, the way he pitches his stuff, like he still throws as hard. You're not getting a downgrade in a guy that throws as hard. And lefties traditionally in this division get tagged harder than righties. The ballparks and the way these lineups are, right? So that kind of combination, yeah, maybe he doesn't have the Cy Young season, Robbie Ray being the absolute greatest version of himself, having a career year. But fuck, I don't think he's going to be less than like 80%. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's still going to be probably your best starter and the dude that anchors your staff and that takes the ball and throws close to 200 innings. Like this is a guy that should be throwing over 190 innings. I want to say 200 just because that's that's the old standard. But yeah, it's more like 190 something now. But that's Kevin Gossman.
Yeah, I still think you're getting an all-star pitcher.
Yeah.
You probably won't be a Cy Young. But it drives me crazy how people bring up like, oh, remember when he was in Baltimore? This is what he used to be. Like, you know how long ago that
remember
was?
6 years ago. Yeah, exactly. Well, not even 6. I think it was 4. But still, that was 3 organizations ago. He was playing for the Atlanta in between.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like Kevin Gossman.
Around. Yeah.
Yeah, like Kevin Gossman, his first year with the Giants in the shortened year was elite when the Jays were trying to get him. His second year with the Giants was elite when the Jays were trying to get him again.
Yeah.
Right? Like
that's another thing too. The Jays have had their eye on Kevin Gossman for years. They loved him all the time. And the way they've been finding these pitchers, you should get I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt on this.
Yeah.
Like they love him and they've been working well with pitchers, and this should work out.
And Robbie Ray was a dude they were like, he has a problem, we can fix him. Kevin Gossman is more of, oh, he's just really fucking good. Or it's Pete Walker being like, hey, he's really good and I might be able to make him a little bit better.
Yeah. It's a little bit different than Kikuchi because I believe the same thing with him is that he gets turned around, but he's more of a guy you actually need to turn around. Gossman's more of the finished package. You're going to expect greatness right away.
One thing I'll say about Kikuchi, because I know he was like your two guys, like he was your guy. Like that was a guy you guys wanted. It hasn't been great in spring so far.
You don't focus on that, though.
Yes.
Unless it's good, you don't even focus on
the positive I will say is that he was the dude we're talking most about, get him in here and get him worked on. Matz was traded for early. Robbie Ray was traded for the year before and was the first free agent signing of anyone the next year. Like he was in here early working with Pete Walker. Yusei Kikuchi signed after the lockout in spring training. So he hasn't had the time to make adjustments. Yeah, well, we talked about this when it first happened. We were like, what? He's got 1 to 2 weeks, and now he's got 3 weeks, 2.5, right? So if he has a slow start, he's one of the guys I'm more willing to kind of live with. And they signed him to be the 5th starter, so if he has a slow start, he's the 5th starter anyways. So that's kind of where I'm at with Kikuchi. Whereas Gossman is like, no, you've appropriately replaced Robbie Ray. Like, who else? Like, I was talking about this all last year. I'm like, hey, you know who I'd rather actually them sign if you don't bring back Robbie Ray is, hey, go get Kevin Gossman. And this was why.
And we were like, if you don't get Steve Matz, Kikuchi.
Oh, I never thought Kevin Gossman was a possibility. I thought Ray would go, and then we just kind of have to scrap together, guys.
He was saying about like slow starts. Do you know who the one guy who can't afford a slow start this year is Ryu? That's the one guy in the rotation who cannot afford at all to even have.
We're going to see him.
Any kind of setback.
See him on Sunday.
Is that who we're lined up? Yeah, that's no.
He's starting Sunday.
He's the 3 starter?
They decided to start Ryu on Sunday.
I thought it was going to be Manoa.
No.
I thought it was actually going to be Kikuchi against Texas. Well, I saw on Twitter a bunch of people were like Kikuchi against Texas, and then you have Ryu, who's been good against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium.
And they're going to save Manoa for the Yankees too, because he's been good against the Yankees.
Great
that's actually good. That's a good idea.
But I don't. Have they announced because the only thing I know they announced was Barrios was the opening day start. Or yeah,
the first weekend I think is set.
Okay, so Barrios, Gossman,
Ryu.
See, it makes sense because he is the vet, right?
Yeah.
Although I think, because I think it was Josh Goldberg that tweeted it. It's like, I do like the idea of Ryu against the Yankees, who he's been really good against. And the funny thing was, do you know the guy that like would hurt him the most that I actually remember hurting him the most was Gary Sanchez.
Yeah.
Like, how many dingers did Gary Sanchez hit off Ryu? Like last year, I think he hit 4 alone in 2 games.
Their catchers kind of killed us as a whole last year.
Yeah.
They didn't really hit too much, but when they hit, it was against us.
Kyle Higashioka, I think, hit all of his hits came against the Blue Jays. He hit like 170, and I'm pretty sure every hit came against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, like all of his home runs.
Yeah, that's the way it felt, anyways.
So I guess it makes sense. Like Kikuchi, the third game would actually make the most sense if you're really thinking of it, like planning your best rotation for the Yankees.
Exactly. I don't know, Tony. I haven't seen anything, but like again, just with work being what it is for me, I have been a little bit distracted more than normal. I mean, when I was unemployed, obviously I was on my shit. I knew exactly what was happening because I had fuck all to do. So the only thing I saw today was like what's happening with the decision between Baraki and Collins. But yeah, so I haven't seen it, but it does make sense that they would start Ryu in game 3 just out of the veteran type of situation. And then you have Manoah, Kikuchi back to Barrios. So
who are we going to see for the Rangers?
I'm going to see Semien. We're going to see Seager.
No.
Well, John Gray's their opening day starter.
Friday.
Kyle Gibson's a Philly now. They traded him, so he ain't there anymore. Dane Dunning.
I think it is.
We're going to score 12 runs in that game.
I think Dane Dunning made the team because they got Colby Allard, Dane. Like it ain't got many options that are great, Theo.
Remember when we did this last year? I think it was the Texas series. When
God.
I think it was one of the Texas series, and we said like over under runs the Jays were going to score in that series.
And I took the under. I won.
Oh yeah, that was the one they didn't score much. But I think this one is. Teams like that are gonna have huge issues this year.
Starting rotation. Let's see. I want to pull this up. The projected opening day roster from 4 days ago. John Gray is the opening day starter. Oh, none of this is in order, but I see. Oh, because they haven't actually announced it yet. So John Gray is the opening day starter. They have Colby Allard, who's a starter. They got Dane Dunning, so that's 3. They got Garrett Richards, 4. Martin Perez. Oh, God. I don't know if Spencer Howard's a starter anymore. But
his shine's a little bit off right now.
That's an interesting team.
He got traded for Kyle Gibson. He was supposed to be like top prospect.
Because he was. And then he got hurt.
A year later, he got traded for
This is pitching prospects. We're experiencing the same thing right now with
Nate Pearson, yeah.
That's just how it is.
Now, then they're infield. So you got Nate Lowe, Semien Seager, Nick Solak, Brad Miller, and Andy Ibanez. And the outfield, Willie Calhoun, Adolis Garcia, Cole Calhoun, and Eli. Woof.
Ryu should completely shut down that line.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's another reason I really would like to see Kikuchi pitch in that game.
Yeah, it would be a good start for him. We were saying before when you were off for a bit, like you were saying how there's no pressure for Kikuchi because he had the short spring and he's a guy who's going to need time to kind of.
There's pressure. I'm just saying, give him some time.
But Ryu is the guy who we're seriously like, all right, we don't know how last season ended is an indication of what's to come, or if it was just some fatigue. This April, May for him is going to be massive.
Yeah, he generally starts fast, which is nice. Again, the only excuse I'll make for him, and I don't even necessarily believe it, but this is the one that I'll throw out there. Big boy, shortened season, pitched a full season, looked tired at the end of it. Because remember, the whole podcast last year down the stretch, I kept saying he just looked tired. It didn't look like an injury thing. He just looked tired. And then they put him on the DL with basically he was tired. They called it body fatigue or some bullshit, but he was tired. So ideally, he's now he's coming off a full season, and you guys have seen him, right? You've seen the pictures of him. I don't think he's ever been this weight in the big leagues.
Yeah, he's thinner.
So ideally, he should be able to bounce back. And again, he is generally a hot starter. But here's the thing: if he doesn't bounce back, that's a problem. Like he's the one where it's a problem. Because like I said,
he's not getting the Pearson pressure anymore. That's part of it too. Like it'll buy a lot of those guys more time. Actually,
it buys
especially
all those guys
in the rotation. Like those fringe guys have a month to just figure it out.
It ain't like striplings coming for their starting spot.
Well, he was giving us 6 strong for a while. Every time he went out there, he was giving us like 6 quality innings.
And I think that was though we were just happy that he was going out there, like 6 innings, giving up 3 runs, 2 dingers. But it was better than the alternative.
Was that after the Joe Panic thing? I can't remember now. Was that the Joe Panic incident happened? Was he like great ever since?
He was. I do think that's when he went on that streak because we did make jokes about it. I'm pretty sure we were making jokes about it.
That was really
because he was there because he was on a hot streak. I'm pretty sure you're the one who was just like, "Yep, Joe Panic better shut the fuck up because that's our best pitcher."
Yeah, that was some dark times in the middle of that year. We were in Buffalo kind of sputtering along. Joe Panic was getting screamed at.
Yeah, there were some dark days. That's another wild thing of last year where it's like, look how that team finished compared to how it started.
That's like,
and not even started. It started off good, and then it was like the first month was good, and then all the relievers got hurt.
In the bullpen, yeah, but I think if I remember offensively, we weren't great in the beginning, so it would never like balanced out. Like the bullpen sucked when the offense was good, and it was vice versa. But we had the same problem in 2015, and that's what Charlie was saying. You said it earlier, Anthony. Even if the record doesn't reflect it, this team has the ability to just put on a massive win streak and get to where they need to go. It's about maximizing that during this window, though, as much as possible, and not leaving it to chance or leaving it to a wild card spot, because those top 2 seeds this year, it's like football now, where you need to try to get to that bye week because you don't want to be playing early.
You want to play on the road.
Yeah. Should we do some predictions and then get out of here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Anthony. What should we do? Because last year we did like a few different predictions on potential surprise hitters and stuff like that. So maybe we should do the kind of same thing. We were pretty good on our bowl predictions last year because we didn't take too much chance. My Ty Tice prediction was very good, but he did pitch in the major leagues.
One wasn't even a prediction.
That was a prediction. We just at the time. Do you know the talk that was going on? I just said he's going to have the season, like the consistent season, and be dominant last year. That's exactly what he did. Great prediction.
I think the best one we had was Marcus Semien because I think we all agreed on that he was going to have a pretty big bounce back. And I don't know if we
go with Danny Jansen again this year.
No, I mean if he can do that, like the way he ended the season, but the whole fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times.
I think I'm more in on him this year. I'm kind of in on everybody, but like Lourdes would probably be my pick right now. I think he has that complete season, and it's pretty biased because I'm a Lourdes guy. I've been forced to be a Lourdes guy through some of the decisions I've made in the past, but I don't. He's got everything you need, and I think this is the year.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, why is your pick going to be Calvin Biggio?
That's what I was going to say. You wrote my mind because you have to fit a certain criteria. And Kevin Biggio fits that criteria. Last year was a lost year. Now he's going to get, all the opportunity he can, and he's healthy. So I think we're going to get high on base percentage, 15 to 20 home runs, something like that. High on base, good base running, good 9th hitter or whatever in our lineup.
He led off last year for the beginning of the year. People forget that.
Old news.
Yeah. Well, I already talked about Matt Chapman and how I think that's going to go.
I think we all agree on Matt Chapman.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like the Semien one where we're like, Semien, Ray, they kind of have to be what they, you know what I mean? Semien has to have the bounce back, and Ray has to be what he was in spring training, and those things fucking happen. The one I'm going to go with, like aside from what I said about Chapman, like the one I'm going to go with is Gabriel Moreno is going to be here quickly. And not just be here quickly, he's going to be here and be important quickly. I don't know how high they'll ever hit him in the lineup, just the way there's so many veterans, there's so many good hitters on this team. Just the way that it's set up. But I don't know, man. The shit he did in the minor leagues, you don't see a lot of prospects do, and you don't see catchers do. It's just he could be genuinely special. And if he is at this point, like, then there are no holes. Like, then this team is just like, good luck. You're fucked.
I hope you're right. I just don't believe it. I really like just the way we manage assets and try to extend service time. And I know we're in a win now period, but it would be, to me, still would be surprising if he's up before the second half of the season.
Well, here's to delay his service time, you don't have to keep him down for half a year. And the funny thing is, if he wins Rookie of the Year with the new rules, they get a full year of service time, and the draft pick you would have gotten for promoting him right off the hop and having him win Rookie of the Year, you no longer get. So I don't know. I think he, like, as long as he's healthy, I think he's going to get off to the same type of ridiculous start he got off to last year. I think he's going to be insanely hot, and in a team on a team where they're trying to win right fucking now, I think he's going to come up. I think he's going to hit near the bottom of the lineup, but I think he's going to make a big impact.
Yeah.
And
if he's on the team, I fully agree. He's going to be a beast.
Do you want to do one pitching take? Not even just a player, just a thing you're going to guarantee this season, or make a prediction on what's going to happen with one of our pitchers.
I was feeling really good about Big Nate until that outing where, you know, the miles per hour dropped, and now he's got fucking mono. So y'all go, because there's a couple I'm thinking of.
I'm thinking of a cool one right now.
Well, I have one that I've already bet into.
Throw it out.
Jose Barrios gets more Cy Young votes than Gossman and Ray. Boom.
I hope so.
Well, he is their best pitcher.
Is he? I don't know.
That's he's our opening day starter.
But that's more of a respect thing.
You said Barrios, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gossman got a big contract.
Mine's way more bold, by the way.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Alec Manoah is wins Cy Young. I've already bet into this market at 50-1. Very sharp play. It's down to 40-1. It's dropping every second. He's going to be pitching so many high leverage. You know, he's going to pitch all the innings. He's going to pitch in high leverage AL East games. Pitch well in them. We're going to be such a focused on team this year. He's going to be one of those guys who's going to be the face of a lot of those big moments. And I just think he's going to have a great year. The stats are going to match up. People are seeing on TV, and I just think he's going to be our guy this year.
Okay, add to my thing too. Barrios will also have more Cy Young votes than Alec Manoah.
Ooh, I love it. Tony out here.
Let's do a little side bet.
Ooh,
okay.
No money. We got to think of something.
Yeah, we got to think of something.
Think of something by the watch log, and we'll announce it.
Yeah,
on Friday on opening day.
Confident.
All right.
I wonder what it is now, but it was 51. It's 41 now.
Or am I gonna have to get a Manoah shirt or something?
Should I get odds though? What? I should get some odds. Your Cy Young votes like.
Jose Barrios has never been that high in the Cy Young before.
He's definitely like 20-1 right now.
I don't know if you get odds here, Theo.
I should.
Ray has better odds than Barrios.
I'll do without the odds. I'm just saying it's a Bush League move by Anthony, not even to offer odds. I would offer odds.
Move to ask for odds. You're so confident in it.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to ask for odds, but you should probably have offered. The odds, Ray is 8 plus 850.
Yeah, because he's defending Cy Young winner.
And Gossman's basically the same as Barrios. He's plus 2,000. Barrios plus 2,200. And where's my guy? Plus 4,000 still. So we can do even, but it's it'd be more impressive if I win. Just
okay. Let me find another name to add to this list. Then it'll be more fair.
Kikuchi.
Than the entire Blue Jays staff combined.
Than everyone in the American League East.
That's going to be difficult.
Well, we'll see.
This is going to be so hard to track.
We'll be waiting in October.
It's going to come down until the it's going to come down to the Cy Young votes.
So we care about this. Because I think we're going to forget if it's not a good bet.
Yeah.
I'm so confident in this guy, though. And he's the first Blue Jay to acknowledge our podcast. So
that's true. Actually, straight up, Alec Manoah with the like.
Someone on his PR team liked our post. It was great.
It was awesome. We were very excited. Very, very
So
excited.
we'll
Shout out
think
Alec
of something
Manoah.
by the watch along. But I think that's a good thing. We should be doing more of that. Let's just make a bet on everything.
Why don't we
this
make
season.
a bet? Why don't we make a bet on highest WAR of our 3 position players? Kevin Biggio, Lourdes, and Moreno. But Moreno probably won't get enough at bats.
See, I was going to say Chapman, but Chapman's also cheating because if you're doing WAR, his defensive WAR would just obliterate everything.
OPS then? Because OPS, Moreno doesn't need we'll qualify him if he plays 100.
Yeah, the funny thing is, or not the funny thing, the problem is I'm pretty sure if Lourdes stays healthy, he's going to. This is because I don't disagree with you. I think if he stays healthy, he looks really good.
You can add Danny Jansen to your OPS thing. There, fair.
Well, we could do Wade runs.
You get Danny Jansen on top of it.
Do WRC plus.
I love how you've tried to tie me into your bet, Theo.
Not my bet.
Well,
no, I know you just turned this in. You're like, oh yeah, let's throw Steve's guy in here too. Well, I don't know about this. I don't know if I'm
year of Lourdes. It's the year. I don't even need odds that Anthony isn't offering. But if I got them, we'll think of something. I do like for sure. We'll do the Manoah thing. I'll think of something, and then we could do that. What were you saying that the stat should be?
WRC plus.
That's fair.
That's an offense. Then I'll take Chapman, and we'll do WRC plus because it'll take the defense
that's
out
just
of it.
Not fair.
No, because it takes the defense out of it.
I guess.
No, because I said it was. WAR is completely unfair because he will generate so much.
He was a
from
3 WAR
defense.
player in a bad offensive year last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So he would just generate too much. But if it's just the offense, right, where you're saying I was going a little crazy, saying he's gonna have the Semien season, I'll do that. I'll put him up with WCR plus.
All right, so we're doing that, and then the Cy Young. Do you want to get involved in Cy Young?
I don't really have a horse in the race that I feel like I'll probably jump in with Gossman and say that Gossman gets more Cy Young votes.
You have to say he wins the Cy Young. So you have to say.
Oh yeah. I ain't gonna go that bold. Does he get more votes? Cy Young votes? That I could throw down, but
you could say Gossman is finalist for Cy Young. He's a top 2 vote getter.
Why do I have to accelerate it when he's got the same odds as your guy?
Well, you have to make it different.
Oh, you need to give odds for Anthony, but not me.
You got to make it different.
Double
my dude is in the exact same situation gambling wise as Anthony, and for me to just be like, yeah, okay, he'll have more Cy Young votes than your guy.
My guy is has to be better than your guy. So either one of us wins.
What I'm saying is that he's going to have more Cy Young votes. Theo loses because Manoah. He's basically saying Manoah has to win the Cy Young here.
Okay, well, no,
I'm just going with what Tony's saying, where it's I'm gonna say that Gossman gets more votes than Barrios gets.
All right, fine.
Can I be involved in the votes thing as a tiebreaker?
Here, why don't we decide this off the air and not keep arguing about this during the podcast? We'll figure out a bet. We'll figure some shit out, and we'll let everyone know.
We have 3 hours of watch along shit to fill up.
Exactly. We need to delay some of this till later. Yeah, we can actually argue. We can argue during commercial breaks.
And then an hour in 3 hours.
Yeah, actually, that's probably what's going to happen. Okay. Anything else you guys want to get to? Because I'm trying to think of my best prediction, and it's if we're gonna go bold prediction, it would just be that Simber repeats. That they found something with the dude who throws weird, and he's gonna repeat. Tim Meza throws hard now and looks really good. There's a whole bunch of guys like Jordan Romano to say he's gonna be great. It's not really taking that much of a risk, and I'm not crazy enough to sit here and be like Julian Merriweather will be healthy the entire season. I'm not doing that. It's not happening.
We could just say Merriweather, Pearson. We can combine them and just say.
Well, that's what I said. That the trio. Okay, you can keep Baraki because I don't even think he's involved. Between Pearson and Julian Merriweather, I think you're going to get at least 60 innings of a all-star caliber elite reliever between the two of them.
See this? Who gives predictions like this? This is why we're different.
Exactly.
No one gives predictions like this. We're going to tell you the Jays are going to win 100 games. No, we got to tell you how a combination of players are going to be productive.
Yeah, and what's going to happen with Cy Young votes and and WCR plus weighted runs created plus. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Smart baseball thing.
Fuck yeah. Anything else you guys want to get to before we wrap her up?
No.
You want to talk about Jose Ramirez and the fact that the Padres are now apparently involved?
I think we should put a rule on this right now because I'm getting sick of it. I don't want to talk about Jose Ramirez until there's an actual reporter who reports a move happening or about to happen, because we could talk about this guy every day at this point.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't
Tony
think
was the one who.
I don't think that's real. I think Anthony's right about that.
In our group chat, I threw that out when it came out on that was Bleacher Report. Whoever the fuck reported it, all the app updates. We know everyone gets them.
That Gomez guy.
Yeah, Hector Gomez. But no. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure the update came from Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
Like the one that I saw, right? So the report was that the Padres are trying to get involved. It doesn't really make any sense to me. So I guess you could move Manny Machado to shortstop, but like, how are you going to make that work?
Like, they're going to put Cronenworth at first and Ramirez at second.
And then CJ Abrams is going to play short if he's not part of the Ramirez.
They're trying him in the outfield.
Who the fuck is going to play short? Well, Tatis is out for 3 months.
Kim.
Oh, okay. And so they're going to put it. So this is why it doesn't make any fucking sense, okay?
The Padres get thrown into these rumors all the time for every
because they make all the trades.
Yeah.
Because of the last 2 years where they've traded and signed everybody. So
yeah.
I think you were right where it's like probably a leverage play. That's what Tony said when we brought it up in the group chat. There's probably a leverage play by the Guardians trying to be like, hey, this is what you need to give us because now the Padres are involved.
Yeah.
And the hang up better not be Kevin Fischio. Because if it is, do it now.
It's the year Kevin.
Yeah.
That would void my whole bet. I wouldn't be part of it if you got traded.
No, but we'd have Jose Ramirez.
Jose Ramirez would be subbed in for me. Because
that would be.
Danny Jansen is the backup for any of these guys. If they get hurt, you get Danny Jansen. That's the rule. He's the backup for everybody's
Jose Ramirez.
Yeah. You know what the best part is, though? Watch this be. We're all against this, and watch this actually be the Danny Jansen breakout because Jose Moreno's coming. It'd be amazing.
OPS over 1. Yeah, he's going to kill it this year.
But anyways, anything else for? All right. Well, that's been Toronto on Tilt. I'm Steve here with Anthony and Theo. As always, you can find us at our Twitter at Toronto on Tilt. We're live right now on Twitch, Toronto on Tilt. You can find us. We're live right now on YouTube, but that's where the video will also live. You can search for Toronto on Tilt. You find us there. And of course, the audio and video, because Spotify lets us put the video, it won't be available for all the places. So on Spotify, you can see the video as well, but on Apple, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Bleaker, all of the things you can get the audio of the podcast on everything, on our YouTube, on our Twitch, on our various podcast places. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. It's World Series or bust for the Blue Jays. Let's go.